Hi guys, and welcome back to the 92 Diaries, and we are your hosts. I'm Juliet.
I'm Miss Chardz.
I'm Fee.
I know it's been a very long time, but we're back now, guys, and we're going to be telling you about our regular schedule later. But the issue that we're really going to be talking about today is, what do you think about risking friendship for love? So, I think, to be fair, I can't even lie. I was in a situation quite recently, just before I came back to, I guess, the city that I'm staying at for like med school. And a friend of mine that I've known for a couple of years sort of told me how that they have feelings for me. And I can't even lie. It's a situation that kind of did catch me by surprise, but I'm thinking, is this a common thing? Like, have you guys experienced it, and what have your thoughts been on it?
I've not personally experienced it, to be honest. Not gonna lie. I don't know. I'm too much of a lads kind of girl for it to kind of shift, if that makes sense. That sounds so sad.
I don't think so. I just think people haven't approached you about it. I don't think.
You're gonna say it's my face. That's what you're gonna say.
Yeah, you're resting bitch face.
Leave my resting bitch face alone. We just spoke about this. I don't even realize I'm doing the resting bitch face half the time. Okay?
My face take the wheel.
Muscles are relaxed. That's all I'm saying. If you're scared, that ain't my fault. Grow some balls. Anyway.
Oh my god! Like legit, I think it's just never happened to you because, like, I don't know, maybe he's just not ballsy enough to be able to, say, listen, chick. Oh, that brings me to say my name, but anyway, listen, chick. I'm feeling you in this type of way, but I think they haven't just said it. They haven't said it with their chest.
Okay, Chardz, what about you?
It hasn't existed. I think mine exists in a weird way. In a way where
I'm done.
A friend has never it's never been like, oh, just friend. Well, I can't say it's never been, but we've been friends for a long time. But I feel like at intermediates in our friendship, they've expressed this over and over and over again. And I've kind of like put a cap on it over and over and over again, because for me, that particular friendship, I don't think it applies to everyone. I think maybe there are some that you should risk for love, but that particular friendship, I'm like, dude, you are a solid guy to me, like 110%. Like, our friendship as opposite genders is like solid core. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to lose that. And for me, in the bigger picture, I value that friendship as it stands, as it exists, as it has been, more than what I think could ever be. Does that make sense?
Okay, so you're saying to me, like, you don't think that would be the solid foundation for a sturdy as hell relationship?
I think it depends on the situation. Like, I think it depends on the situation. It just depends on the person. If you feel that your feelings or your love, whatever, people mistake love for infatuation these days, but generally real feelings and real emotion for this person on a intimate level. And when I say intimate, I don't just mean coitus or sex, for those who don't know what coitus is. I don't just mean on a sexual level. I mean a physical, emotional, mental, spiritual level. If you feel that supersedes like your connection in all of those match, mate, and therefore you can be lovers per se, then risk it.
Okay.
Risk it, and it will be a great foundation. For me, for my lover or for my future partner, definitely he basically needs to be like my best friend. So there does need to be a massive level of friendship within it. But when you've been friends for so much time and you shared so much as friends, you have to think about the future prospect, and does it outweigh where you've been to where you
I feel like this stuff all sounds well and good, but I feel like, to be honest, if you think about some of your friends, like there's some of your, I guess, friends of the opposite gender who you feel are attractive men, and if they did shoot their shot, are you telling me that you would absolutely say no? Or are you only saying no to certain guys because you don't find them attractive, or you don't see them as your potential partner because you know them in a way that is either too sort of familiar, vulnerable, or you see them not even as a friend, you see them as a family member, so you can't even cross that line because you're not even friend zone, my love, you are family zoned, and you are never ever getting out of that family zone.
Family zone's a thing?
Yeah.
Yay. That's a step level like worse than that. I love you. Well, I'm gonna family zone you. Thank you very much.
No, the family zone is real, and I feel like the reason why some people you don't end up going into certain things is because you either family zoned them because you have seen them in that way, or it's because you're just not attracted to them in that way. They could be attractive guys, but you don't find them attractive, or I don't know.
I was gonna say that because you mentioned attraction before, and I feel like they can still be attractive, and maybe in some way you can see yourself attracted to them because of their attractiveness. However, seeing them in the light of a future partner or a potential partner, that's a whole lot of difference. Like it's not just attraction. You can see a guy on the street and be like, he good looking. You know, I like them, I like them shoulders, you know. But can you see a future with him? It's like, hell no. Like his lifestyle is a mess. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it may not even be that way. He may be really smart, really cool, whatever. I don't know. But I'm just saying, you know, you see qualities in people, and you're just like, I can imagine my life with them for the rest, you know, for the rest of my life with them, and I can't. Kind of thing, and I think it does come down to that. I do agree with the family zone thing too. Family zone thing, yeah. You can't be married without. I'm just saying.
Flip the script though, because we're all saying it as if it's coming to us. Would you do it?
I already have.
Oh hell! Oh damn, girl.
No, you're looking at me like all sideways, like, guys. But to be honest,
I think I know who it is.
Yeah.
You're talking about. I think you know.
Can we say that off air?
We don't have to declare the name, but
Someone mind
I can't even lie. Like, can you?
Okay, all right.
Her one.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
She got her own one.
Yeah.
I can't even lie, though. You know what?
I think I did it though, but I didn't do it myself. I had a representative do it on my behalf.
A representative.
I felt like your time was coming. I felt like your time was coming, but someone's spirit felt it coming and was like, another time.
Do you know the situation I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are you sure you know the situation I'm talking about?
I'm talking about.
Oh, girl.
Exactly.
No. This is another. For all of you listening, I'm sorry for all the pauses, but there was a time. There was a time before that.
What happened
There was a time before that. Julie might know. Chardz, you might not know because this was in the beginning, like early college days.
In the beginning,
do you mean like
it was like?
I'm not saying particular times or years, but.
I can't see your face, girl.
Yeah, we can't see your face, girl. So, sorry, you always have to be a mute over there.
You know what? This is not fair to us.
Exactly.
No, it's not fair to you lot. Anyway, moving on.
The point. You know what?
You say yours, and I'll say mine.
I can't even lie. Like, I didn't land. It did not land. I shot, and it didn't land. It bounced off the rim, and it bounced into a tree somewhere. Like, it just didn't work out. I'm standing there like
somewhere.
Did it land? Did it land? It landed in the tree.
Look at the tree, girl.
You know what? I'm gonna have to applaud you right there because that takes some fucking balls. Like for a girl to come out, and you're still standing, babe. Even though it didn't land, you still standing.
I tell you, like I felt like my face. You know when my head was hot. My head was very hot. Honestly, in my spirit, I was not ready, but I thought, you know what? I need to get this off my chest. Whatever happens, blah, blah. And I remember when I said this at the time, like, I am just so happy that this person, it was like, because I knew them and I knew it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if he said no. When he eventually was like, I can't even lie. I was like, oh shit. And I couldn't be prepared for that. I was just like, and I felt so like, what's wrong with me? But you know what? That person wasn't malicious about it. They weren't mean about it, and they're like, I don't know. We were still cool afterwards, so it was fine.
Yeah.
But I can't even lie, that shit don't always work. Like, but I still advocate for women shooting their shot because you never know when it could land.
Yeah, no, it's true. But
Shit,
like,
though.
No, but
mine,
okay.
I didn't even shoot
Hold on,
mine.
sorry. Can I just comment on Julie's one? Like, in terms of women shooting their shot, right? I'm not against women shooting their shot. My thing is, if you're quite happy for the relationship to continue in that manner,
So you think it would
kudos.
automatically create a dynamic
It does.
where
It
you're the one
does.
calling the shots?
Yeah. Well, not just calling. Yeah, almost like taking the lead.
Okay.
And if you're content with that, cool, and kudos to you. But don't like expect to take the lead on introduction or starting it or, you know, being involved and then somehow take a backseat halfway through as if you didn't initiate this. Like, the way you start is the way it's gonna be. So just remember that whilst y'all are shooting into the atmosphere. I'm just
Oh
saying.
my day. Listen, my good sisters, you know, like, you never know. One day you might shoot your shot and it could land. Because I can't even lie. Like, I definitely shot my shot this summer and it landed. So you know what? It's all good. Sometimes it works out. So, you know.
I'm not saying it's not gonna work. I'm just saying you're creating a bit of a foundation.
It depends on the man, though, to be fair. It does depend on the man, because some men will just, I feel like sometimes it's not even like you shoot your shot to be like, oh, I want to do this for you. Like, it's just like, oh, hi. It depends on how you shoot your shot. I remember my friend sent me a tweet, and I think it was like, it was like, women shoot their shot by thinking about you. And I was like, oh, rah. And then a girl quote tweeted it saying, we're not just thinking about you, we're manifesting. And my friend sent it to me, in it, because she was taking the piss out of the fact that I don't shoot my shot, or like, I'll like someone but I won't say anything, and I'll just hope in like vain that this person eventually like feels the same way. So I feel like when I shoot my shot, other than that one time, I didn't even really say much. I was just like, oh, like, how are you, da, 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 da. And like, oh, like, it'll be good to see you or whatever. And then I just said it like that, and then from there he kind of took the lead, because I feel like that's just the kind of person that he is. But it really just depends on the guy.
Yeah.
Some guys could just sit back, but you know, we're not just talking about that, we're also talking about when guys say it to their girlfriends as well, to be honest.
I think it's also very important, though, to be comfortable with the fact that if you shoot your shot, you might not get the feelings returned, and there's perfectly there's nothing wrong with that. Doesn't mean you can't be friends with the person, doesn't mean you can't like still hang out, and it doesn't mean that you can't. I feel like the idea of shooting your shot, you shouldn't do it to expect something out of it. Well, obviously you'll have an outcome regardless, but you also need to preemptively come to terms with the fact that it may not go the way that you want it to go, and that doesn't mean that there can't be something in the future 10 years from now, because at the end of the day, you've now, because that person might not have seen you in that light, you've now planted that seed in their mind. It might flip the script, and they might suddenly start to see you in a different light, because they weren't seeing you like that.
True.
Some people be wearing different glasses when they're looking at you, so it's so it's just a bit like, sometimes patience is key.
Right there. Like,
you might have moved on. You might have moved on, and then suddenly my guy's like slipping back into your life, like, oh, do you know what? Maybe we should hang out a bit more, and it might pick up from there. I'm not trying to build false hope. Some of you, it's just not gonna happen.
It's never gonna happen. Sometimes it's
just not gonna happen, and that's the reality of it.
It's got a reality check.
That person is not for you. God has got somebody else that's for you. It's good. It's well done. You put yourself out there. You're living your truth. Move on. That's it. There's nothing wrong with that.
I think that's a really valid point to touch upon, actually, the fact that sometimes when you do shoot your shot, you have to do it without expectation, because it's not fair to think, just because, this isn't even just for saying it to friends, but I think obviously in the situation that we're talking about here, just because you say something to someone, it doesn't mean that person is obligated to say the same thing about you in the same respect. Because I feel like situations like that, it kind of it just make it seem as if the friendship that you have isn't exactly mutual, or it's not exactly, or you're not really understanding each other very well, especially if you feel like because you said something, you're now entitled to the other person say something in return. I do think it does speak loudly of the fact that maybe your friendship isn't as solid as you thought, because if you think you can just say these things and expect a certain result based on what you said, your friendship...
Was that person ever really your friend then?
Yeah, like, or were they just sitting in the wings, silently wanting to pursue you, but never say anything, but doing it all of the guise of wanting to be your friend.
Exactly. I think that's 10 times worse. Absolutely.
Honestly, like, I think sometimes when it comes to some people using the guise of pretending to be your friend because they're wanting to pursue you. I think that's quite insidious, to be honest. I think it's very unfair because I think
they want to be what in you, seeing you.
Yeah, like this person has an intention of wanting to be with you, and they never tell you, and then one day they spring it on you. Oh, by the way, and it's like, hold on, like what?
We were like being close, and I was trying to be vulnerable around you without knowing this was your intention.
Yeah, literally. I feel like it's very important to state your intentions as early as you can.
Absolutely.
And to be honest about it, because then you give that person the space to make a decision as to whether or not they will continue to entertain this, or they'll actually, or they'll clarify and actually be like, you know what, this isn't what I had in mind for us as friends. Like, I think as long as two people are having a genuine conversation about it, it should be fine. But I feel like you need to, like, as soon as you can anyway.
I feel like that could only happen, though, sorry to interrupt, I feel like that could only happen, though, if you've met the person just recently. If you've known each other for a long time, then that's different. Then it just could be a genuine situation where things have changed. But if they've just met you and then you're like, I don't see us like that, and they're just like, okay, I'm gonna wait in the 100%, and then I'm a strike, and
To be fair though, I think I'm only saying it because I feel like I may have been in a similar situation where we were friends for a while, and then it literally came out of the blue, and they said that they had felt this way about me since they not felt that way about me, but they felt like they wanted to get to know me in that way from the very beginning. And I'm like, what?
Oh, that's different. Yeah,
and I feel like in those kinds of cases it can be quite unfair, but at the same time I think it's all based on how, I don't know, it's difficult, and it depends on the sort of person you are. Like, if you're someone who's quite shy, then you might think the best way of going about this is to be someone's friend. So it's really hard, really. Like, I don't know if that works too well for me. But,
it's all about your intent and the context behind your intent.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, no, I see, because what I hear a lot from the mandem, but like a lot of them, like they stress the fact that when a girl does tell them how they feel about them, they feel this pressure to then react not return the feelings, but act a certain type of way or tell them what it is that they want to hear, just because they're trying to please them, not because they genuinely feel that same type of way about them. And I think that comes from the pressure of, like, I don't know where the stigma comes from, but some girls can't handle rejection, if that makes sense.
Hold on, wait, okay, so this is in the context of guys hearing it from women, basically, and responding in a way.
And they're responding in a way that the female does not like, or she didn't want to hear, or she wasn't prepared to hear, because girls are just like,
really friends then?
That's what I'm saying, though.
I can't even lie.
I think there are different levels of friends.
That's the thing, and I feel like if this girl is doing it, like, I feel like it really does depend. Like, if this guy is seeing this girl as just like a platonic friend, like, you know, like a person they say hi and bye to, and this girl is saying all these feelings, I can't even lie. Like, sometimes a guy might know this girl is emotionally unstable, and if I say this, she'll either go mad, go crazy, or whatever. So they might say things because they want to appease people.
Whoa!
It's true.
Come on, you can't go around throwing mentally unstable around, because every guy that gets a reaction from a girl that is slightly irate, that is basically just full of emotion, is going to go around calling a woman mentally unstable.
Or you're angry black woman. You know, that's what I mean.
I don't think that is. We have as women, we have a lot of emotions, and yes, we may not take rejection very well, but at the same, as Fee said already, you have to be prepared. If you're going to make that bold move and say it with your chest, then you got to receive it with your chest, you know.
Right. And no, but I feel like sometimes girls don't know. Come on guys, you have to be honest. Sometimes as women, we can do things in the wrong way, and sometimes when we don't get what we want, we do tend to throw tantrums, because I've definitely done it before. I can't even lie. I've definitely done it before. I didn't get my way and I got very upset. And I had to be told, how old are you? Like, how old are you? So I'm not going to lie. I've done it. So that's why I'm saying sometimes a guy can say something just to appease a woman because she flipping gone mad for no reason. But you know what? It's all good. It's all good.
I think there's a respectful way of talking to somebody, and I think there's ways of dealing with the situation. I'll give you an example. Today, I went to a place of work. Yes, today. I went to a place of work And the person I was working with was in the most grumpy, sour mood in the entire world. And I came in chirpy as hell, right? I was like, nothing's going to spoil my shine today. I'm cool. And I'm looking forward to the weekend. And suddenly I received this at 7 o'clock in the morning, may I add. First of all, this is before my crack of dawn time that I've had to be awake and here. But I'm present. I'm not moaning, I'm not complaining. I was at this same place till 11 o'clock last night. I've had 4 hours of sleep. I should be the one that is upset and moaning. You have no right at this point. And basically, a little bit of what they were moaning about was the help that I tried to give the day before. They were like, it wasn't done like this, it wasn't done like this. I've not ever been to that place before. I've been once. I don't normally work there. And basically, it was all new, but I tried to help and assist where I possibly could. Basically, at the end of the day, they were just kind of moaning and complaining. So what was going through my mind was, this person better, I'm going to use person, this person better stop complaining, because the way that I'm going to tell her half my mind right here. And I had so many things going. I'm like, I'm damn near about ready to walk out right now, because I've done a lot of things that were not part of my job description that I had did to assist you guys in doing, and all you can do is moan about it as opposed to show your appreciation. Now, let me tell you what God saved me, right? So, wow. I remembered my Zen. Actually, God probably saved her more so, because this is me at 7 o'clock. Damn near ready to walk out at 8 o'clock because, you know, it was just too much. Actually, no, not 8 o'clock. It was 7:30. I'm down there ready to work out half an hour later because I'm just like, it's too much. And I can't do this for the whole 8 hours. Mm-hmm. Anyway. So instead of saying, what is your freaking problem, like I really wanted to say, I said, are you okay today? Now, it doesn't, like, obviously the way I've expressed it now may seem slightly patronizing, but the way I have said it to her was more of concern. And I've only ever worked with her once before, which may have been decades ago, probably doesn't even remember me, but I'm just like, are you all right this morning? And immediately the way I had showed my concern to what was obviously angering me, made her respond as to, sorry, I'm really grumpy this morning, blah, 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 blah. And from then on, it was more of me cheering. I had somehow cheered her up along the way by basically by asking her how she was, and her apologizing, sort of ranting a little bit, whether there was a few side jabs in there or not. She ranted for a little bit and then apologized and said, you know what, let's have a fresh start. And then basically we laughed and chatted the rest of the time. But that was a pivotal point. If I had said, B, what is your problem? You know, and be like, listen, if you don't change your attitude, I'm out here. If I had said that, it would have been a whole different story, and it would have gone from 50 to 5,000 in 2 seconds. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes it's just about your approach and how you deal with a situation. You may think in your head that this person is batshit crazy, but it's like, without lying to that person, it's like, how do you communicate your concerns of this situation right here? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
I think it's 100% about approach and about communication, and it works for both ways. So if a guy approaches you as a girl, or you as a woman approach a guy, so if you're a guy and being approached by a woman and you're hearing things that you feel that you don't want to hear, or you're not comfortable with, or you didn't think we were on the same page, or you realize that you're not on the same page, it is about handling that situation. Listen, let's be real. We're talking about not just black people, so I'll shut up in a minute. It's not just about like black people, but the youth of today. Suicide is at an all-time high, and what is causing us, and I know I'm going like real extreme right now, but there are little triggers, and it may be another sense of rejection. You don't know what's happening in that person's life that week, that day.
Yeah.
It may be yet another rejection from the person you thought we were compatible. I could imagine a life with this person, and you are the last person to shut them down. Imagine that point.
I can't even lie. I think it's. I do have to put out there. I do think it's unfair to use that particular example, just because I think in that context, if God forbid that situation ever arises and that thing happens, that person shouldn't have to feel guilty because they were being honest with themselves.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely not. I'm just saying, be sensitive about. I'm not saying don't lie, you don't have to sugarcoat it. It's just about communicating effectively and in a decent way. I don't think you have to particularly, you know how like when girls don't want to be approached on the road, yeah, and a guy's trying to move to them, they're trying to chirp them. We use that lingo back in the day. Yeah, trying to chirp them, whatever, and you don't want to be approached, and you kind of like, you know, you kind of take a stank face kind of thing. It's kind, I think it's rude. It looks rude from afar, and it's like a situation that could have been very quiet and like hush hush. I know that guys have their thing with it. They don't understand. No,
how many times I have to tell you I can't help the way my face is.
It's not even just that. I feel like with some guys, it doesn't matter how you say it, what you do. Because some of them will grab you to try and chirp you or whatever. And me going, oh, excuse me, can you just, ma'am, do you want me to get FaceTime? I need to remove myself and run. No, honestly, like we laughing, but it's true. Like sometimes you got to do things according to your situation.
Absolutely, sometimes. I mean, all the time you have to do stuff according to the situation, but it's what the situation warrants. There's no point someone saying to you, oh, can I just have a chat? Excuse me, I want to talk to you. Why are you always up on my case? You know, it's unnecessary.
That's a lot of humminers.
I'm just saying, it's going to be appropriateness and just like, you know, a little bit of decorum. What happened to decorum these days? Like, really?
There is none. I'm just gonna say it. There literally is none. Like when we were out in Manchester, yeah. I got grabbed.
No aim for that.
I'm just a bit like take me back. But anyway, when we were out, I got grabbed. I didn't. It wasn't a gentle tap on the shoulder. It wasn't a excuse me, miss. Hello, love. It was a grab my wrist. Who are you? What have you got on your skin? I don't know. Don't grab me like that, because it's already an aggressive approach in itself. I'm not even going to say anything to you at that point. I'm just going to politely take my hand back. I don't need to say anything to you at that point. And that's how I deal with that situation. Sometimes silence.
Stop grabbing women. It's not cute.
It's not even it's saying that it's not cute. That shit is harassment. Like there's a police officer, they're reporting you because you are an offender. Stop it. You need to behave.
Sorry for you.
You need to behave.
I just have to make that declaration there, to say the least. It's
fine. It's fine. It's just 9 times out of 10 when I actually do try not to, like to put on a polite smile and just say very gently, nah, I'm alright. Why though? You got a man though. But you're single though. And it in though. I'm just like shit. Like I just don't want to give you my number because I don't like you and I don't want to get to know you and I'm not in a mindset where I'm feeling to get to know anybody today. That's it.
I'm dying. Sorry.
That is it. Nothing more, nothing less. Instead, you gonna make me transform my face and hot you up and be like, can you leave me alone, please? And then she's like, oh, he's an angry black woman. Run for your life. I'm done. You just can't.
Wow.
You know what?
Like you do it sometimes.
Yay! I can't even lie. Lately, I haven't been able to relate.
It's a case where I had somebody yell at me today whilst I was out shopping with my mum, minding my own business, stop me and say, can you smile a little bit? Why am I affecting your life? Leave me alone. How do you know I'm not an internally happy person? In fact, I was just turning around to say to Mom, can we go Asda? Because I would really like to get some Mexicana cheese to put on my bagel stains with my turkey bacon. And you out here telling me to smile. You know when you're just so confused, you can't even register a situation. My face is just like, what the ever-loving hell is this guy on? Who told him I need a Captain Saver smile today? I don't. I just don't. I'm good. I'm happy. Just because I'm not smiling does not mean I'm not happy. Okay? I just went to the gym. I've got DOMs in my thighs. Leave me alone. Okay? Leave me alone.
Oh okay, my God. I'm done. I'm done.
We're going to get to rounding off.
Yeah. Good Lord.
What's it called? If we can go around, I guess. What do you think is I guess, like, what would you risk kind of upgrading a friendship from, your standard platonic friendship to potentially a romantic relationship? Chardz, what are you thinking?
I think, put my hand up in the air, I want to go. I think literally love, and if you can experience it in its purity and its entirety, let me say, if you can experience love in its entirety, literally best feeling in the world, absolute best feeling in the world. And I think most people, if you actually knew what love felt like, though there's some parts of pain, if you genuinely feel like what love feels like, you will trade it for anything. So you feel definitely that the risk is worth it. My thing is, say it with your chest. Number one. Number two, weigh out the benefits of, do you actually want to be with this person, and do you think that this person will, in a sense, complete you? Those sayings. Complete you, complete me. In a sense, complete you, so that the where your relationship was before, is it going to be 100 times, like, not as a figure, but that much more better in a love relationship than it is where it is? And consider that first before making that movement. But if you make with that movement, 100%, say it with your chest. Also, like Fee said, expect that rejection as well. Because
so would you risk it?
Would I risk?
Chardz, would you risk it then?
Will I risk it for a chocolate biscuit?
The best kind of chocolate biscuit.
Yes. In all fairness, weighing up everything I said, yes, I would risk it to experience love on that level.
Cool. And Fee?
Let me put it like this: you never had that person in that type of way in the first place. You don't really have anything to lose, so just do it.
Well, so I guess that's a yes from you as well then.
I would do it. It might take me a build up. I have to amp myself up for it.
Couple years.
Yeah.
Aye. The shade. It's a good thing I'm in the shadow. Or that would have affected my life. Anyway. Yes.
Okay.
I will shoot my shot when it suits me.
Yeah!
Okay.
You know what?
Okay. And if it lands, if it's a home run, cool. If I only make it to first base, cool. If they strike me out, then whatever. I ain't gonna let that fear keep me from playing the game. That's all I'm gonna say.
I will be your cheerleader on any post, baby.
You're actually both mad. If anything comes from this, I want you both to know. Neither one of you are gonna be my chief bridesmaids. That's
wow.
Trash. Women are trash. Can you imagine?
Wait a minute. Hold on.
You know what? I can't even lie. I think for me, I'm gonna say, you know what? You can never say never, because you never do know with these things. I could say no, and then tomorrow I could tell you guys what happened was. So I guess I would say yes, really. I would probably risk it, but I think because I tend to I'm quite a perspective thinker, and I like to think things through, and it would take me a lot of time for deliberation, because I'm thinking, I don't know if I want to risk that with that person, because I wouldn't want to lose that person as a friend afterwards. But we'd have to see how it will go, to be honest. But yeah, thank you so much for listening, guys. We're back, the 92 Diaries, with your girls, Juliet, Miss Chardz, and Fee. We're on the usual social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and all of our individuals are going to be there as well. But the main one's Instagram, so at 92.diaries. So we are heading out. Tune in.
Deuces. Bye.